I've got many memories of Harry. There was always a sketchbook in the back room of Bellevue Road. An abiding memory is the view that we had out of the back window of Bellevue Road, which went across to the Brecon Beacons, and Harry putting up this massive mirror on the one wall so he could sit in his seat where he's next to his row of pipes, next to his sketchbook, and he'd always have a view looking back into the house, but into the mirror, which then sort of reflected out onto the Brecon Beacons. And there was always a pencil to hand. There was always something going on, whether that was drawing, whether that was writing. He was always doing something. Yeah, and that's an abiding memory. Yeah, and regularly had a pipe on the go. Yeah. Rob Beddington, born in June 1960, only son of Roy Beddington, with my sister Kate, who's 5 years older than I am, and grandson of Harry. And very fond memories of early 60s to, I'd say, early 80s of Harry, of Mildred, and those times down in the Forest of Dean. I always knew he was creative, but I think when you're a child, you just take that as read. You think, oh yeah, Grandad, he does a bit of drawing, he does a bit of poetry, blah, blah, blah. And it's only when you reflect on that and you look at what he's done and the work that he's done, and some things that I've never seen before that are now coming out of the woodwork, that what a creative man he was. We knew of the work he did sort of in local government in terms of what he did for the schools, and I think he had a whole range of schools under him from when he was the sort of clerk to the forest schools. I think because of the nature of the job that he did, he was able to create a lot more time for the things that he loved, and thankfully Granny allowed him to do that. So we went to see, in Gloucester, we went to see one of his plays, and I would have been, I'd say 8 or 9. And I remember being wowed by the fact that, yeah, okay, I knew Grandad did a little bit of this stuff, but wow, I've just seen a play that he wrote with him on stage with my grandma, and actually that was a great night out. We've known for a little while that he did an art correspondence course. We believe that he did that in his early to mid-20s. The idea behind this was, I think he was quite a lowly paid clerk at that time, and I think he was trying to create perhaps a little bit of extra income from being an artist. Now, as far as I'm aware, he didn't sell any of his art, but from what we see, the quality of what he could produce was incredible in terms of still life, in terms of drawing humans, animals, you name it. It was all there. Grandma was a forceful woman. She's got big, I think she's got big hopes for Grandad, because she knew how brilliant he was in so many fields. He first became a playwright because of Grandma's role in the WI, where they thought they'd quite like to put on a play. What can we put on? I tell you, I imagine Mildred going to Harry and saying, you could write a play, Harry, because she had that belief in he could turn his hand to anything creative. And I think she was very proud of that. And we know that Grandad could turn his hand to it, yeah. And so I think there was a pride throughout her life of everything that he did, even though he never did get his big break. They lived at Bellevue Road for a long, long time until, sadly, Granny died, and I think Grandad after that was a little bit lonely, ended up coming to Mum and Dad's. I just always see that as one of the strongest relationships in my memory. Two slightly different characters, but they absolutely worked as a team.